it's never going to end. Whoever thought that high school was going to end, or university life was going to end? Everybody said, oh, this is going to go. And then all of a sudden it ended. And then you get from high school, you get prepared to go to university, and then you're worried what major I'm going to take, and what exams do I have to take, what entrance exams, what placement exams, all these worries. You sit like that, and you think, what is going to happen? You think I'm going to take a day of judgment? No, I'm not. Wait. Now, when you want to go for a long trip, also the same thing, worries. The most dangerous trip and the most dangerous journey that anyone takes, every human being took, is what journey? It's coming out of his mother's womb. Coming out of your mother was the most dangerous journey you ever took. And the most sensitive, that is. Look, have you ever, those of you that have seen embryology, embryology is the science of embryo, ology, you don't want to go into the Greek and the Latin root of the word, but you all know that it is the embryo, it is the janeen, ilm al-janeen, embryology. Is how the embryo starts after fertilization, and then after fertilization becomes an embryo until the 9th week, and it starts becoming a fetus, right? It's the same thing, but medicine calls it embryo and then calls it fetus, right? And then after delivery, it's called neonate, or now it's an infant, etc., etc. But if you want to take a look at embryology, when the embryo was still little, now I'm flexing my medical muscles, right? But Nadim is laughing at me. Now, when you look at the embryo, look how the embryo looks like. Have you ever seen a picture of an embryo before, especially like around the 9th month? Sitting like that, his hands are very close to his cheeks. His feet are almost touching his ankles, his elbows. Like this, very sad, in a very sad way. Darkness, in his mother's womb. Thinking, probably, about what's going to happen in that journey. تقدموا يا أحبة. Please come closer, inshallah, so we make place for some people. Come as close as you can. That embryo is assuming that position. Now, psychologists, and I'll take you back to psychologists for a little bit. We don't want to talk about psychology now, and psychology is not our major. And I think psychology has many variant standards, which is a contradiction in terms, of course. Variant should not be a standard anyway. But let's talk about psychology a little bit. Psychologists, what do they say? They say that if someone is depressed or someone is upset, assumes the same position that the fetus took when he was in his mother's womb. Like this. Now, look, watch yourself. When you're upset and when you're sad, what do? You go to some place where it's dark. Dark, remember the fetus in his mother's womb? Same thing, dark. Even if there's light, you turn off the lights. You don't want to be with anybody. You want to be alone, and you sit like that with your hands on your cheeks, and you're like thinking about the next trip you're taking. Definitely. Or about the same trip that you're still in. See? Everything's interconnected. Don't think that you're just born. That means history repeats itself all the time. Why now, let's forget this and talk about why is this journey so, I said it's very dangerous. Why is it a dangerous journey? Now, with medicine advanced, one can be delivered very easily, very nicely, no problems. Well, that's not the point. The point is not the passage through the birth canal. The point is passage through this life that is full of tests and full of exams and going then after all to paradise. That's the point. Because the exit of this place where the fetus is, it's going to lead to one of two places. No third. One. إِمَّا إِلَى جَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ. Jannah, the width of it is the entire heavens and earth. That fetus exits, leads his life or her life, and then ends up into in a paradise because it passed all these exams and it passed all these tests, and life is full of them. And it passed them successfully. Now it is it's worthy of a paradise that is what? عرضها السماوات والأرض. Huge, massive reward. Or إلى نار أحاط بهم سرادقها وإن يستغيثوا يغاثوا بماء كالمهل يشوي الوجوه بئس الشراب وساءت مرتفقا. إما إلى جنة أو إلى نار. Either to Jannah or to a punishment. There has to be punishment for those who don't pass the test. A student who doesn't pass his exam, he fails, he needs to repeat. But the problem is there's no more repetition. There's no makeup. This journey is what revolves around everybody's life. I'll give you another example. A student who is comfortable in his school, he knows and he studies his material. He goes to the exam very confident. Writes everything, comes out of the exam confident. Inshallah, I'll be doing good. A student who did not study for his exam, goes to the exam in fear, stays in the exam in fear, comes out of the exam in fear. His whole life is fear and fear. Knows the weakness. More than that, and I gave you this example before, one who can drive a car, and he already passed the exam of how to drive a car. When he drives his car very safely. He drives his car with confidence. Goes on the highway very confidently and driving, not even worried about it, about anybody else. He is not, the people that are with him are not worried about him. Now the one who doesn't know how to drive but yet chooses to drive a car, what happens to him? He goes, he probably kills himself and he kills other people as well. Think enough examples. In this life, there are always ways that we can connect and we can see the truth and we can see why are we here. Now many people say, and you have people who are communists, people who don't believe in anything, and that's also a religion. Somebody emailed me a few days ago, he said, I don't believe in anything. I said, well, that's a faith system. Not believing in anything is also a faith system. Okay, but let's go further than that. So we have two ways. Either people say, well, this whole world then, and the way the embryo came and all these things and all that, that is just came for nothing. It's actually all chaotic, and it is coincidental, and it is circumstantial. Things just happen because they happen. A big bang, and that big bang made Earth and made a moon and made sun. And that big bang now, little bangs after bangs, now we're created and all this. You may want, some people believe in big bangs that create things. Okay. Well, even if we want to go to that Big Bang theory, I would like to ask this question. Where the first bang came from? And before that first bang, where that first H2O came from? The first molecule of water. The first molecule of everything. Where did it come from? What initiated life then? If it all came coincidental, and it came out of nothing into something, then how can it come from nothing to something? Have you ever seen a book without a writer? Have you ever seen a car that's made and nobody made it? I give you a book and say, you see this book? No one wrote it. It wrote itself. Defies logic. There's no logic. So this one, the other way is to say, no, the world has a creator. And